Hi, Solo Sue here, and I wanted to talk to you today about the Stock Perks app. If you're not familiar, this is an app that some of the cruise lines are using now to facilitate shareholders being able to upload their stock statement that proves that they have the required 100 shares of stocks in the company, and that gets their shareholder benefit, which is usually in the terms of some kind of onboard credit for booked cruises. This is an Apple phone, and we're going to download it and walk you through what you have to do for Stock Perks to be able to use it. Now, basically, you tap on Get Started, and it's going to give you various ways of signing in. You can, create your own email, password login thing. You can use one of the Google or Apple options, and you go from there. In this case, I am going with my Apple ID, and I've blacked all that stuff out, of course, but you would put in your Apple ID and your name and your email for this. And it creates your account, and it asks for a fair amount of information. I really don't think it should. It shouldn't really need your annual income, but that's what it asks for. We're going to be looking at Carnival, but you can see here, if I scroll down a little bit, that some of the other cruise lines are also on this list, including Royal and Norwegian. So let's go into Carnival. And if you want to, you can always look at the communication and about tabs. You can also see here, these are all the Carnival brands that are on the Stock Perks app. And I've chosen Princess, and it wants me to validate the portfolio. And there's a couple of options here. The first one is Plaid, which is for everything except Fidelity, and then there's Fidelity. Now, regardless of what you choose, you're going to have to upload your statement, and it's going to ask to be able to use the camera roll or somehow to get the picture. So I use Fidelity, but let's take a quick peek at Plaid, which is for any other US-based investors. And it facilitates the connection. That's what Plaid is apparently used to do. And so if you put in your phone number and you put in your, which one you use, say Charles Schwab or Robinhood or whatever, then you're going to have to provide the credentials you use to actually use your brokerage account. Now, it does list a couple of options here, but you can actually type in something and see if it's listed if you use something that isn't shown by default. And you can see here it wants your username and your password that you use to get into E-Trade for this example. As someone who does computer security research for a living, this makes me very nervous, and I would not want to do this with my own account. As I mentioned, I use Fidelity, so we can walk through that. Basically, you're going to add a file, and you'll tell it basically where to get the file from your phone. You can either take a picture or you can actually upload it from your camera roll. It's going to need to have certain things. It's going to need to have your full name, the date the statement is for, and that it shows that you own the appropriate shares of stock. Once you've done that, the cruise line is going to validate what you've given them and apply it to whichever cruise you are trying to get the credit for. Now, what is not clear is whether you have to do this for each individual cruise you're on for a particular brand or not. I have several booked right now with Princess. I have some with other lines, but I don't know if I have to do this separately for each one or not. I would think they would want to have a more current statement, given some of my cruises are going to be, a year out or so. I guess we'll find out more later, but in the meantime, this should get you started in using the Stock Perks app to upload your statements. And hopefully this helps. Solo Sue signing off.